So I'm driving what has to be Toyota's most important launch of this year. It is finally the Toyota Corolla Cross. Oh, we've been waiting a while. Well, I don't think the safety sense worked there very well, but anyways. Well, it's very loud. Anyways. So this is a very, important segment, of course. Toyota claims that there are 31 players in it. So you're going from like sort of Ford EcoSport to T-Cross to Seltos to and, okay? Now this is by far sort of one of the bigger of the competitors. It sits more in sort of like Haval Juliet vibes, you know? So it sits just below the RAV4 and sort of above the urban cruiser. And like I say, it's quite big and spacious. Like the boot is at 440 litres. So it's quite an enormous boot for the segment. I think the Haval Juliet is like 337 or something. So that just goes to show how big it is. And overall, like, I'm really impressed with this car. I quite like the interior. I like that it's actually quite simple. The only thing I don't love, maybe, is the infotainment system. But I don't like Toyotas in general. I think, like, it's not one of the best on the market. But once you sort of familiarize yourself with it, you're probably going to be totally fine with it. And I think most people are going to go for this badge and this car, regardless of this review, anyway. You ready? 2 times. So the interior is based on the Corolla sedan, so don't expect anything overly exciting. But it sort of has, I'm in the XR model, so top of the range, so it's got sort of everything you need. Thank you. There's a lot going on the roads today. I need to be concentrating. It also has, thankfully, Toyota's safety sense. So you've sort of got adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, all those kinds of things, which is really cool. There is one like real annoyance for me, and that might just be a personal thing, but when you put it into reverse, it beeps at ya. Now, I get it, like maybe some people don't realize they've gone into reverse and then they put their foot down and go backwards, but I can't imagine that happening often enough for it to warrant putting beeps in. Like, I thought, okay, a hybrid maybe because it's quiet, so put them on the outside. You know what I mean? Like, I think Prius had that and stuff. I don't know. It's weird for me. I don't think Prius has got it inside too. Anyway. I'll never find what I'm looking for. Easy come. I did it. Okay, so now the engine. Okay, so it's a 1.8 litre naturally aspirated engine that you have. I'm in the hybrid model, so it's got that engine mated to an electric motor. Now, the whole point of a hybrid, and I've written this in my review, and I know a lot of people have heard me say it, but I'm going to keep saying it, okay? The whole point is probably to save fuel, and also what I love that Toyota is doing, they like pushing hybrids, and what they're doing is trying to get people used to the idea of sort of moving into the electric vehicle segment, right? So South Africans especially are still a little bit like, I don't know. And so Toyota's going, here we go, let's take a gradual move in that direction, not just from one to the other. So great. The problem is, and it's not Toyota's fault, but the hybrids are far more expensive than the standard models. This actually, they've managed to kind of close the gap, and I think the gap is getting smaller, and then they're going to make more sense to me. But at this point, not really. So this model comes in at just around 450,000 Rand. The standard Corolla Cross XR comes in at like 24,000 Rand cheaper. Now you thinking, oh, I'm going to save on fuel though. But, okay, Toyota did a comparison and a whole big thing over a year, what you would spend on fuel and what you would save, right? Hybrid versus standard model. So they came to the conclusion that you would save around 14,000 Rand a year. Now I have a bit of an issue with this because one, then it means you've got 2 years before you sort of break even, about like a year and a half. I'm not great with maths, but anyways, because you've already spent 24,000 and more. Okay, so the first year you're not making anything. The second is the chances of you achieving the claimed fuel consumption of 4.3 is almost impossible. So I'm sitting at 6.3, and I haven't been driving too badly. You know, I've had it in eco mode. Like I've been quite like conscious about it because I wanted to see. I think you can get it lower, but certainly not to that point. So in a real world, you're not going to be saving 14,000 Rand a month, a year. A month, definitely, Kif. So it's something to bear in mind, like if you're going to choose the Toyota Corolla Cross, is maybe don't opt for the hybrid. Because if you look at the rivals, any of them that have a small turbo, you're going to probably get a similar fuel consumption to what you're getting in this. And so it might be a bit of a smaller car, maybe, obviously it will be actually, but ever so slightly in some cases. And so you've just got to weigh it up, I guess, as to what you need, what are your needs and requirements. Look, either way, I can tell you that these are going to sell in droves. Okay, I've got hundreds of people asking, I don't have that many followers, but I have a lot of people asking me about it. And it's not surprising because it's sort of the offering from Toyota that we've been waiting for. Sort of everyone else has been involved in it and they haven't been in the segment yet, and now they are. And it's with a car with the name Corolla. Come the on. I mean, could you get a more reliable, dependable sort of brand? I don't know. So if you are looking for one, looking at I recommend it. Like, take a look. You know, I wouldn't dissuade anybody from buying it because I think it's probably gonna do you well. 2 times. Oh yeah.